Today's winning lottery numbers are 3, 14, 26, 2, 19, 8, 1, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 20, 34, 21, 187, 6, 43, 8, 1, H, 17, 26, 44, 9. And the Super Bowl number is 4. Good luck and thanks for playing.
Good evening.
Hi, everybody.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Oh, boy. Seahorses forever.
Hello. I've realized that I've become somebody that I hate. I used to despise people that would back into parking spots, and I do it since it's so much easier with a backup camera. But why? I don't have anywhere to go that I need to back in. I need to do my reverse driving first because I don't have time to do it when I'm leaving. But I don't know. So now I don't get mad at people like that. I just get mad at all the other people that the real assholes. And I'm just saying this because I back into spots. So now they're not assholes anymore. But the real assholes are the ones that see a long-ass line at a light and stay in the wrong lane anyway and try to get in the front. Those are trash. Human trash. That's where I draw the line. Anyway, the Weekly Ag starts now. It is the Weekly Ag for Thursday, April 26, 2018. I'm Mac, along with a newbie. This is Jamie. You can talk.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Hello.
We need some more consistency, so I'm hoping that that you can be that consistency because Norm, I know he's listening because he listens to all the shows that he's not on. He's unreliable. He would probably say I'm unreliable.
Dang, Norm.
But he is also unreliable. So whether this is permanent or it's a revolving thing, I don't know. Maybe I'll just it'll be like when Johnny Carson took a day off and he just had a guest host every week. It'll just be like that. Do you know Johnny Carson?
I mean, I know who he is. I didn't watch any of his show live.
Well,
Have
me
you?
neither. No. I'm not that. How old are you?
I'll be 32 next
Oh, well, I'm
Saturday.
33. So it's just I'm an old soul, so I like all that old, like
classic television.
Well, I was going to say, I almost said vaudeville, but that's too old. But yeah, like the 50s through the 70s, like that stuff, like the Dean Martin roasts and like all the, when you could smoke and drink on TV and it was okay.
No one cared about anything. You could slap a woman. You could
I know,
make racial slurs.
good old days.
No one cared. No, I love a classic TV. I'm a big I Love Lucy, Bewitched, Bonanza type person, but it's hard
Andy
to
Griffith
find.
Show is really good.
Oh God, I was watching that last night.
It's not even on TV Land anymore.
And like Carol Burnett, a lot of the variety shows are really hard to find where you can watch them consistently to know who the guest host would be on Johnny Carson when he took vacation.
Right. Yeah. Well, and you can't find whole episode. You find clips and stuff, but you can't find the whole thing.
Yeah, to go like the time they do the 3-hour infomercials that I watch consistently.
And you just see the same. You're like, oh, this is how it was, and you're like, no, actually, it was a whole show. It wasn't just these chunks.
Well, yeah.
You gotta get closer.
Oh, okay.
All right, a minute. Let's see. Don't worry, Norm can't ever get the microphone right in anyway.
Because this microphone makes me a little uncomfortable as someone who's never had a microphone this close to my face.
I just tell
long.
him Norm just pretends it's a dick, and he knows how to get in there. Then.
I mean, I didn't want to make the analogy, but I guess if you have to.
Well, I mean, that's how I know how to stay.
You just got to get right up on it.
Get it right up on it.
Just put your lips around it.
Yeah. It's not even the biggest thing I've ever had in my mouth before.
Oh, hi-oh.
Anyway, speaking of Johnny Carson. Well, you're the guest and you're a lady, so we can do you first.
Okay,
we can do you first.
Thanks.
We can pop your podcast cherry first.
Oh, you're so considerate.
So you can tell us about yourself.
Oh, God, I was hoping that wouldn't be the case.
Well, you're a fellow, and you're in education as well.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
In the same district?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, your antithesis, your nemesis.
I don't think
guess.
of it that way. I went there.
You know,
the kids get mad at me because I went to that school and now I teach at the other school.
It's so sad because I hear about the rivalry. I'm like, you guys really take this to heart, don't you? You get really offended at the other.
It's not really a rivalry. I don't know. It's a manufactured rivalry. It's not real.
It is, and it's kind of sad. To anyone who goes to university that is listening,
don't say the name.
Oh,
no, it's okay.
Okay, God, you gotta tell me.
No,
these
it's
things.
fine. No, really, it's fine. I'm not even gonna edit that out.
Thanks. Like especially in football, everyone was so hyped up about this.
And
the two teams going against each other, and they got blown out the water. I was like, that's so tragic.
In Waco, my Waco High isn't that great either. I mean, University's bad because they're 0 in 4 years. But Waco High's not. I mean, they're just average, so it's not even like there's some awesome powerhouse team. And yeah, it's some dumb people that live in Waco try to make Waco a thing. Like there's the schools are a rival, or there's South Waco, or I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then Chip and Joanna have to ruin everything and stuff.
Sweet mother of God.
And I don't know why. How come it's annoying? Because it's just how it is now. You can't have an opinion. If you have an opinion and it goes against somebody else's, then somebody has to get angry and fight you. And
naturally.
So it's like you can't criticize anything because people just say. The thing, I got to stop. I always talk about this with Norm. I have to stop reading the comment sections, but I can't.
It's like a drug.
I don't comment. I just read them.
Yeah.
And
you
it's
get filled with hate fire.
Well, you can't I want to tell these people so nothing bothers you. Right. So when somebody says, "Oh, this is annoying," and they say, "Well, what have you done?" And I want to be like, "But nothing bothers you ever." You could say that about anything. If you have a criticism, you could say, "Well," you could flip it and say, because that's the standard ones for those two, the fixer-upper people are, they've helped our economy. What have you done for the economy? Mm-hmm. Or, they've made people forget about David Koresh, and I don't think anybody's forgotten about David Koresh.
Minus those, the movie and the documentary.
I know that came out this year because it was
because there's so much attention.
25th anniversary.
Oh God!
I don't think that's ever going to go away. And it's the bikers are more famous anyway now.
Oh Jesus!
So I liked it better when Waco was a shithole, to use a Trump term. I like the shithole. I don't want any positivity here. I can't get around downtown.
No, it's
downtown.
And I had a friend bring up a really good point. She said, "Yeah, they brought in a lot of economic growth, but." What happens when that goes away? What happens when this is no longer a thing and all the economic growth is just
their fans
gone?
Say it won't go away.
But I don't believe that. I think everything comes to an
Our
end.
attention spans are way too short nowadays.
Yeah.
Maybe in the 80s or 90s this would last. You know what I mean? Because TV and cable was the main medium. But now,
there's always something new now. There's always some new big thing.
Yeah. There's so many options. So yeah, I don't you talk to the fans or their supporters and they're like, well, it's not. They're so good that it's going to stay even though they're not TV.
Forever.
Yeah.
Plus, once you get into Target, you're sort of immortalized. You can do.
Oh yeah,
she's
got a Target line or what?
Oh, there's a Target line. There's the restaurant.
She has a cookbook that just came out.
It just came out.
Yeah.
I saw that pop up on my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't seen her cook anything.
Yeah,
Why
I thought she was just a
book?
designer. Yeah. Well, apparently because they have a restaurant here now. They should change the name of Waco to Magnolia.
No.
Even though there is a Magnolia, Texas, I think.
There is. I've been there. It's nice.
Nicer than here?
Well, yes. I wouldn't say that.
Is it near Houston?
Yeah, it's near Houston. So, but it's great. If you're from Magnolia, props up because you have a great town. It's like.
And I bet Joanna's so mad that it's already named Magnolia.
I just don't get the big deal about Magnolias.
She just loves that movie.
I don't know.
Something about from her childhood, I think, right?
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I don't wish them any harm. I hope the best for them. Go and do you, boo. But my goodness, I'm over it. I'm so done with hearing about it with the tourists. I'm so done with people taking selfies in the middle of the street and not being able to navigate around that area because there's Baylor on one side and then on the other side is
I miss when
Silos.
Baylor was the people that I used to hate the most here.
Oh my gosh, right?
Now it's so many
we all
more.
rally against something else.
Yeah, the Baylor people is they're on my side now. I'm like, fuck, I hate it that I'm standing together with these people. No, they're not that bad. It's really just because they're always around places that I like to go.
It's true. You can't have anything new or nice without.
No. Oh, Baylor's here. You want to go to Panera on a Saturday afternoon? Forget it. It's their library.
You get your overpriced sandwich somewhere else, fella.
I know. I'll just go to McAllister's. I like them better anyway.
McAllister's is the best. Shout out to McAllister's. I don't know if I can say that.
They're a sponsor. They're a sponsor. No, they're not. They're not any sponsors.
That would be great. I would be sipping on some.
I don't think they would back this program.
I don't think so either. But
you don't
it's
even
nice
you
to
don't even
dream.
know this. You didn't even listen to any of these episodes.
No,
so
I did not.
Yeah, so you don't know. This could be the best. This could be. Do you listen to pod? I was going to name a pod like.
I only listen to the Critical Role podcast. It's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Don't you deep sigh at me, sir. I will do as I please. You got to
diversify.
I only listen to one.
I know. That's why you need to diversify. That's what that means.
Is it what that means?
Well, you got it wrong, so I didn't think you knew what it meant. Diversify. I only listen to one. Well, anyway, so but you're not. You're an aide, right?
No.
Soon to be.
No.
You're a what? I don't know.
No, I am an interpreter.
You have aides.
No. You've got the AIDS. Yeah. No, I'm an interpreter. I work with deaf and hard of hearing students.
Oh, okay. So, like, isn't it like inclusion? Is it like their version of inclusion? You go with them?
It's their accommodations or whatever. I interpret their classes, whatever.
But they're in gen ed.
Yes.
They're with what's it called? Immersion.
I think they're
or whatever it's called.
Mainstream. They're immersed,
yeah.
Whatever the word is. They're with everybody else.
Okay. So you go like 3 times a week or every day?
It's every day.
Okay.
Every class they have that is not in their specific deaf ed room, which is...
Is deaf politically correct? I feel like deaf is offensive.
No, deaf is not offensive. If you say...
Deaf. Listen to deaf.
No.
Are you deaf?
I would say this is like the public announcement. This is the public announcement. Deaf is the right word. Hearing impaired or something like that is not the correct term.
Retarded? Is that the right word?
No, you are a horrible person.
It's all right. I don't like... yeah, it's okay.
Come on my podcast. I want to make fun of your job.
No. I'm not making fun of your job.
And the people you work for.
That's not... I'm just saying that's what I call children who are differently able. I don't do that. I don't do that. But I do. I think from your stuff, you are pretty liberal. But the one thing I'm not. I don't like how people are so offended by things. No. I mean, I don't go around saying retarded, but I'm just saying.
Do you not?
Fine. This is a safe space. I'm like now I'm combining that to fit my evil. But that's what people do, don't they? They use. That's an example. This is a segue. They pick and choose when it's convenient. You know,
nothing
or like
is a big deal until it's a big deal to you.
You're right. Well, and that's the thing. Like that's why I'm pretty left leaning, but the whole being offended by everything, I think people get too offended. I mean, there are the main things we should be sensitive to. You know, like gay and lesbian and minorities and all that stuff, but. If
those
somebody
with disabilities.
Well, yeah, and those. Well, obviously, but then the ones where you can't like laugh at yourself. I mean, yeah, I don't. I understand why comedians don't go to colleges anymore because they're so crazy politically correct, and I mean, it's going to be comedy. You have to make fun of something.
You do.
I mean, so. But then there are some comedians that go too far. But I mean, you've got to
I think probably my favorite comedian is Dave Chappelle because he is able to really ride that line of.
Oh, he got yelled at too.
Yeah, I mean, but for the most part,
I think a lady was arguing with him whether it was harder to be black or be a woman, and I'm like, why would you even try?
Why is this a debate?
Why is it a Why is it a contest?
Yeah,
can't you just say you both have
can we say
struggles?
That everyone, yeah, exactly. Everyone struggles, and no one
except
knows.
me because I'm a white male.
You've got it.
My time is coming, though. It's coming. I said this on the last one with Dustin. It's great now, but when it's not, it's going to be awful. It's going to be. We're going to eat shit. I mean, it's happening. I can't even sexually harass women. No, I don't do that.
Oh God!
Like we were talking about before, when the 50s, the good old days, when we could just sexually harass women. No, I mean,
just do whatever you want.
And then also,
didn't matter.
I wish that more white people would not try to have it. You can support things that are going on right now, but don't speak for anybody.
Yeah.
White people that try to do that, there's no way you can say you have no personal experience. You can't say what anyone ought to do. Mm-hmm. Just support it, and whatever, and non-verbally, like not with any kind of testimonials or anything.
I think people feel the need to make a stand against something, and it has to be something public. It has to be something broadcasted.
The social media effect or whatever.
And
yeah,
my
opinion's important.
I've had people, especially people in my parents' age, say, "Oh, well, it wasn't like this when I was young." I said, "Well, are you sure it wasn't?" And they just couldn't tell everybody about it. Are you sure that cops weren't, being awful to people, different races?
Things were taboo. You just didn't.
Well, they didn't
things happened.
They didn't have a camera in their hand to record it.
Everything
and send it to everyone
instant.
on the planet.
Yeah, it was. It took a while for news to travel.
Yeah, I think the world's always been horrible. We're just now starting to see how horrible it is.
Well, like the first big wave was the police violence and all that. Now with more and more dash cams and more body cams and more cell phones, like you just see all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you can share it or be live with it. So yeah, that's the thing with I hate that I've become so political in my old age, and I hate that I used to, when I first started this show, I didn't talk about politics at all because I cared, but I didn't care as much. And, they always say it's good to be involved and be informed, but I think it's not. It wears on me.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like shit.
Plus, not everyone who has an opinion should share it. I think you need to be informed.
Well, I was going to say, just, they were like, it's important to be well informed, but just because you're well informed doesn't mean you're accurately informed either because of fake news. Because Trump has been saying, that's, and we'll do this and then we'll move on. But, MAGA, Make America Great Again. Uh-huh. But they're like, but wait, when? When are you talking about again?
Yes.
Are you talking about
what time are we repeating from?
The 50? Maybe the 90s was okay.
I don't know. There was a lot of.
There was Rodney King in 91 or 92, and
it's always been there. It's always been.
When the 50s, when there are, the civil rights was, and I'm gonna get all wound up, and then because Norm and me we're on totally in opposite ends and everything, but all the gun stuff and they say that marches and things it never led to anything. I'm like, the civil rights. Do you remember the Selma, the marches?
All the peaceful protests and marches and everything. My favorite thing was the Colin Kaepernick thing, and that is something that
hang on. I know why he's doing it, but like if you're one of those that are way against, who gives a shit? Is it really hurting you?
Right.
If you don't like it, like I don't understand why if it doesn't affect you, things that don't affect me, I don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Why make yourself upset? That's all I have to. Sorry.
Oh.
But if you don't like it, who gives a shit? Don't watch it. That's what they always say in the comments too.
Yeah.
Leave the country. Don't watch it.
Get out of here.
Then how about you just don't watch it? Anyway.
But when that thing came about, and people had to protest about it, and people were like so upset about it. But then when all the explanation was given, and they said the rhyme and reason behind it, and that he had the soldier come to him and tell him maybe you should kneel instead of sit, or maybe, and he didn't even go out there for a long time, and people never noticed, and people don't remember that
they chose not to remember this.
The teams didn't even come out onto the fields during the national anthem for a long time. But then when he did this and people were making a big deal about it, I was like, okay, so do we forget about the marches and the sit-ins and the boycotts of the buses and all that kind of stuff? All these very peaceful kind of private protests that led to change. And that's all he was trying to do.
Yeah.
So I never got that. And I heard people, and especially when it's people you care about, people you know and you're related to, and they say these things and you're like, but you were there. You remember when this happened? All that horrible stuff? It's still happening. We need to fix it.
They try to. My family's not like me, and they try to talk, and I'm like, yeah, I say I hear you, but I don't ever, because I don't, they can get messy, and you don't want to talk about it at Thanksgiving or whenever some family get together. But
I really try to avoid it, but sometimes, especially the DACA thing with the Dreamers. So make sure I'm saying the right words. I was like, okay. I wasn't from Mexico. My parents are not from Mexico. I'm about 3 generations in.
Right.
But we came here.
You're Mexican.
Yeah, I'm a descendant,
Yeah.
and I think this is important that people should be able to
Get close. Get on it.
shut up. Okay, that
There
people
you
should
go.
be able to have this way to come and get citizenship because it's important.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know.
at some point we've just decided, okay, whoever's here is here, and these are Americans, and no more Americans.
Right.
We closed it. Sorry, closed for business.
And I feel like there is no pure left answer and there is no pure right answer, but both sides are just too busy with their fingers in the ears going, la, 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 I don't hear you, to really sit and talk about a good compromise.
That's everything.
It is.
There's two. It's the ones that are the extreme on both sides are the loudest, so that's what you hear, and they don't listen to each other. And,
Yeah.
And I mean, if I keep hearing more people say that they're taking away all guns, I'm gonna buy a gun.
Oh my God.
And kill those people.
We shouldn't say those things. Okay, I think we should move on politics and talk about anything else.
I don't know any people, so this is a podcast.
I don't know.
Are you worried somebody's going to hear this and think that I'm serious?
I don't know. I know like two people who may listen to this.
See, you're one of the problems on the college campuses. You can't say anything because people get offended.
You know, I don't have anything to say to that because
I win.
I'm new here.
That's right.
And I just don't feel
I
like
can turn
fighting.
your mic off
You
and
could.
just talk.
You just don't exist anymore.
But I just wish they would. That's not. I mean, yeah, there's probably some crazy left extremist that is saying that, but that's.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I think honestly, I think most people. Well, I think a lot of people that have common sense could meet in the middle somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't hear those people. You hear the loud ones, the far extreme ones.
Yeah.
On anything, not just guns, but anything that they disagree on. I think but you know,
it's whoever has the most money and the most toys and the loudest voice and the most like charismatic ways about them. They're the
Right.
ones who get heard.
Hitler. He was very charismatic.
You can just throw that name out there.
Well, I mean, that's how he got it.
I like how that's the first thing it goes to. It's not to anything else. Hitler, of course.
Well, he was very charismatic. But just think about I'm not saying Trump is going to be that way, but I'm saying at first, the German people were probably like, man, this guy's going to get us out of our the depression and get jobs and all this for Germany. And then they're like, oh shit. Maybe we should have thought about it first before we just let him. And now he's, gassing Jews. But
It sounds like a hit rap song.
Gas and Jews. That's if a Jewish gas station. That's what they should call it.
Oh, I still feel like that's too soon.
No, it would be. It would be hilarious because if it were Jewish people that did it, and that's why it's hilarious because if they named it that.
This is so bad. Okay.
Oh my God, are you going to be offended by everything?
No, I'm not even.
We can't even make any
I'm not
jokes.
going to hold this in my heart against you, and it's like in my head, I'm thinking, Mom, please.
This is
don't
a
listen to
place
this.
we can make jokes that are just cringeworthy, but it's okay.
Cringeworthy. I'm just like, someone's going to hear this, and they're like, oh,
Yeah,
we
a lot of
shouldn't
people are
have
going to
this
hear
person.
this.
I don't. I think you're using the word a little too loosely.
A lot is more than. It's more people than. Okay, more people than you think are going to hear this.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Then they all know I'm a horrible person. Okay.
I need Norm back because he's not as judgy as you are about
Oh,
this. You got to loosen up. It's all right.
Right in the
I'm the one
quiet.
saying it. If it makes you feel better, we can point out that you were offended and
I'm not offended.
and cringing at what I've been saying. So
I think
you're
you
not
can
part of
say-
it.
You can say that something makes you uncomfortable without being.
Was that joke?
offended.
Did that really make you uncomfortable?
No.
Gas and Jews. If Jewish people started a gas station and called it Gas and Jews, wouldn't that be funny? Ironically
I'm
funny.
not saying it's not
Okay,
funny.
all right.
It's funny, but you feel deep down like a bad person for laughing at it. No, it's funny.
You feel like you're a bad person for laughing at it?
Freaking funny.
You feel bad though? Really?
I don't know. It won't ruin my sleep tonight, but you know, here in this moment, it does just a tiny bit, just this little bitty bit. I'm
Okay.
like, oh dang, poor Jews. That's so
Well,
hard.
of course, it was terrible. It was a horrible thing that happened.
You know, their time's coming again. I feel like the Jews only have a short time of peace left before somebody comes after them again.
Well, maybe here in West Virginia or wherever those upstanding citizens were. Was it Virginia, West Virginia?
Oh, with the
white supremacist
torches
thing,
and
yeah.
whatnot. Yeah,
Some hillbillies. I don't know. Shout out to
state.
hillbillies and West Virginia.
with your tiki torches and
Yeah.
your cutoff shorts.
But again, that's, the minority. The rest of whatever state that was is probably like, oh, shit.
Right?
Really? Come on.
It's like
John
it's,
Denver wrote a song about us, for God's sake.
it's anything that happens in Texas. I feel like sometimes I hate saying I'm from Texas.
Yeah.
I love living in this state, don't get me wrong. But sometimes I hate saying I'm from here because people automatically assume that you are this really just judgmental, right-wing asshole.
That rides a horse.
Yes. Yes. I have a friend in New Jersey. That was the first question he asked me if I rode a horse everywhere or anywhere. And I was like,
I'm like, it's not the 1870s.
time didn't stop here.
Yeah, it's just the wild, wild west in Texas. I don't know. They probably think that way because, some of the loudest and people that draw the most attention are,
Just like that. They have their
are
horses
cowboys.
and their ranches. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
George W. Bush.
Often I see a horse.
I miss George W. Bush now. Not that I'm blind to all the horrible shit he did, but at least he was an actual politician who didn't say things. Did you see, and this is still staying in politics, Trump was on Fox and Friends and lost his mind?
I saw the snippets about it on Facebook, but I didn't
Just
read
like a
anything.
good informed citizen. I read the headline.
I
No, it's
didn't
okay. I'm
say
just
I
kidding.
knew about it. Oh
I'm
my
just kidding.
God.
I'm just kidding. Just the fact that he called in at all is just weird. I don't get it.
I feel like that shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't have to worry about your president calling into something like that. I think he should.
Right.
Yeah, he should just be doing more presidential type shit. And
Yeah, don't you have other shit to worry about?
Like, not
Don't you
this
have to
petty
guard the
stuff.
button or whatever and hide the alien bodies
go
and all
play
that
some
stuff?
golf, whatever it is that
Yeah.
you do. I mean, I don't know. I would never want to be the president ever. I feel it's too much responsibility. I'd probably die. But I feel like I can
We
judge
can't
him
have some-
enough
yeah.
and say you're not doing a good enough
We
job.
just can't have somebody that temperamental in that position.
Yeah, I feel like that is a thing. Definitely, he goes through such
I wish
extremes
Mitt
of
Romney was
emotions.
the president. It's not even about Republican or Democrat. I mean, I feel like any normal person, whatever your party, can say that the guy is not the best choice
Yeah,
as a human being to be there. I mean, this is like unprecedented. Get it? The way, I mean, and even though, I mean, I know technology's more and more, but I mean, in the 2000s and through Obama, I mean, technology was still there.
oh, that was refreshing.
my Outlook account settings are out of date. Anyway, so my registration has expired a month ago. But I am playing Chicken, a game, because I don't know if...
You just want a ticket. That's what this sounds like.
No, it does sound like that. I don't know if it'll pass. I need to go to a really shitty inspection place that'll just pass
I can
anything.
tell you about a really shitty inspection place.
Well, I was at a stoplight. Maybe I've talked about it on the show. I don't remember. And my fucking dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree. Everything just started coming on, but nothing's wrong with the car. So it's like there's a short in the dashboard on something. And of course, I take it to the Honda place, and they're like, "Okay, $1,300." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And so I'm like,
Jesus.
"No." And they're like, "Well, sir, we advise I'm like, "Of course you advise against me driving off because I'm not going to pay, but I don't have $1,300, and I'm sure you're not going to just do it for free."
Right.
Because it's like my power steering light's on, my ABS light is on, my brake light is on, like my brake is on, like the safety.
The emergency brake?
Yeah. I'm like, it's not. And I let somebody borrow it, and they called me like, I can't get the brake off. I'm like, it's not on, it's fine. But I guess I'm just going to have to go to a really seedy registration place, and they'll just ignore it. They'll just kick the tires and honk the horn, and it passes.
Yeah. Those places... My dad gave me the best advice the last time I got my car inspected. He said, you always tip the guy because there's always something he's overlooking.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many checks on there. I didn't even know how many there were.
Mm-hmm.
And I
made the mistake last year or the year before going to a Precision Tune.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Precision Tune? It's a place that sold other things too. And of course they didn't pass it because they said my tires weren't good. But they sold tires.
Of course.
And they're like, well, but they don't pass because of the tires. We can get you some tires. I'm like, oh, yeah. Overpriced. So I bought 4 tires on Amazon. Fucking
God.
Amazon. But they were the same tires that Walmart sold. But they were cheaper, and then Amazon put them on, and then Walmart put them on for me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
even
now
know
they're
you could do that from
yeah.
Amazon.
If you I got them shipped to the store, and since they put them on, because they charge you for mounting and balance and everything, and now they're free rotation for life. And now I do oil change there because the dealership. I used to like doing everything at the dealership, whatever car I had, because I was OCD and I thought having it all.
They tell you it's better.
Yeah, to have it all in one place, and it should be done by genuine whatever parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just fucking go to Walmart now.
Right. I mean, they told me to do that with my Hyundai, and I was like, no, absolutely not.
My oil change was like $65.
And it's still expensive because if your car is new like mine, it's the full synthetic oil.
But it's only $40 at Walmart, so it's still $25 cheaper.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I feel I'll do it because it's cheaper. But I used to work at Walmart. I know that those guys have little to no training, and if something was really wrong with your car, they would not know it, and they would not tell you about it because they don't want to be held liable for it.
So it's good. It's better. It's good just to do tires and oil change at Walmart.
I don't know. I guess whatever you feel comfortable with.
You don't take your car to Walmart to get oil change?
I go to Firestone.
Oh, jeez.
What?
You know whose dad owns that Firestone place?
I don't.
Joanna Gaines.
Oh, well, that's cool.
The one
Joanna
over there.
Gaines, your dad.
Jerry
is gonna,
Stevens
fix my car.
Firestone. I used to, when she first came out.
Oh yeah, people tell me that they used to know her from there. Like she would.
I used to know her.
No, I've had people tell me.
Oh yeah, because she did the commercial.
I'm sure you would mention it if you knew Joanna Gaines.
No, I wouldn't. I would be ashamed because they're evil. They're pure evil.
They're not pure evil.
But no, because they're Christian, so they can't be pure evil.
Just a drop of evil.
Yeah.
The Diet Coke of
but
evil.
See, yeah. But she used to do the commercials and stuff, and it was her and her sister, and then like her Asian mom, and then her white dad. And I don't know why I have to tell you their ethnicities, but
in case you didn't know,
yeah, she's mixed, and I was like, holy shit, I know her when she started. Did she? It was just the show. Like she didn't do anything else before the show, right? Like
not that I know of.
The Fixer Upper was the thing catapulted her. I couldn't. Well, but also they had that little. I used to see them sometimes because they had the little something else that they screwed up. They the little Magnolia building, like
the
one
off of Bosque.
And now like they opened it up again and they sell stuff, and now it makes that whole area unnavigatable. Unnavigable.
There's a word for that.
Navigatable. Because it's like a funky looking building, and then the letters
it's
are
like
weird.
the ransom note letters, or they're
No,
all
they cut out of magazines and made the title, made the name of the place, and I never knew what that was. I would just see it. I
thought it was like a shop for the longest time.
It was, but it was so out of place down there, and I was like, "What is Magnolia?" Like I thought it was like a hippie. Something.
Yeah, I thought they sold clothes or something like that. I didn't know it was a real estate place.
like a second-hand store or
something like that.
But no, evil is what it is.
Little did we know that simple shop would produce.
And now there's like a million. How many Magnolia Realty buildings are there around? There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Jesus,
there's not even just the Magnolia Realty. They're all over the place.
I haven't hated it enough to Google how many Magnolia buildings there were. I try not to think about it.
You can play like Magnolia Bingo, everything that's Magnolia on it. You got the table now, the restaurant.
That's true.
Everyone was mad about it. And that's another thing. People were upset that they changed the name. Why can't people be upset about that? They're like, well, how come you weren't eating there every meal and supporting it? Yeah, I think me going there all the time is really going to make it not fail.
What, the
Elite when it was because Elvis ate there. But I mean, I understand some of the historical Waco people were kind of like, hey, maybe you should have asked us, just or something.
Did we? I think it's foolish to think that they would not have renamed it.
Well, no, of course they renamed it, but
I understand.
But people could still be upset about who cares? Why not? When somebody's upset about something, I don't tell them you shouldn't be upset about it.
Yeah, and then that just makes them more upset.
Yeah, can't people just feel the way? I mean, within reason. But like, if something annoys you, I mean, why not?
I don't know. I think the name was the least of the worries when it came to that.
I know.
For
Yeah,
me.
Can't we all agree that they have their hands on another property? That's the problem.
I haven't been around there to drive and see where they're putting everyone, because have you driven past it during business hours?
No. There's no room. I mean, there's other restaurants around it too, so I don't know where they're parking.
I don't know where they're parking. I don't know how anyone is getting anywhere around there. They actually did repave that whole area, the circle, which I was like, thank God, because now there are no lines and we'll all just crash and die.
It was dangerous enough.
It was.
When it had line. It's a roundabout. The circle's a roundabout. And nobody knows how to drive it.
No, they don't. And if you drive it right, you will die, because everyone drives it the same wrong way if you're from Waco.
Yeah. Well, there's supposed to be 3 lanes. The innermost is you stay in to go further around it.
The further you have to go, you stay in the second lane, and then you kind of like sprout out.
Right. I only use it when I need to get right off of it.
Yeah.
And I just stay on the outermost lane and just get right off.
It terrifies me every single time because I know I'm doing it wrong and I'm going to die.
But if you do it, if you do it the wrong way correctly, then you'll survive, because everyone else is doing it the wrong way. Yeah.
But
everyone doing it the wrong way makes it the right way.
But people coming from up north who don't know this,
they're like, "Oh, I know about a roundabout."
Yeah. We do it this way in the city.
Dead.
Well, this ain't no fangled city. This is Waco.
I know.
And we do it the wrong way.
If you drive it correctly, you'll have a steering wheel plunge through you.
That's true.
So don't, and God forbid it be raining.
Oh, it was great, because I drove past there one day when it was raining, and everyone was still in line waiting in the rain.
Of course they were.
Fandom has never been so hardcore as it is for Magnolia. Like, okay, I'm going to admit to you a very guilty pleasure that I have, which is that I follow the Duggars.
Oh, yeah. But they're a train wreck now.
They are, and I love it. I watch so much of it.
I know. I don't mind being a terrible person who loves it when somebody falls from...
But like, I was watching it. I was watching it before, and
their pedestal.
Like, it's whatever. If you want to have that many kids and you want to live that life, go ahead.
And now one of them's a pedophile or whatever.
Like, there's been so much drama.
You have that many kids, there's more chances that one of them's going to be a bad egg. You know what I mean? The more you have, the more Now I have 20. 20 chances for them to be shitty.
A sociopath is going to come out of one of these.
If you just have one kid, then maybe it's. You have a better chance of it not being a psychopath.
Or 3 kids, or even 5 kids. But when you pop out with 20 children, or actually 19 children,
and you're not even wanting to stop.
No,
she would have them.
They actually adopted another one. I know this because I follow the Duggars like it's a disease, like it's a drug.
Do you still watch? Little People, Big World still comes on. They're divorced now.
I had heard they divorced, but I don't follow it. TLC. I used to watch like things about how fish live and how babies are born. Now
not anymore. I watched Trading Spaces. That came back.
I saw that, but I don't have cable. I don't know where to watch that.
I'm big time. I got it, and I'm actually watching cable again. I don't know why. I missed it, and I like the commercials because I can take a break and walk away for a minute.
What a strange thing to say.
I know. But I don't watch the commercials. It's just when you're binging something on Hulu or Netflix or whatever, and there's no commercials, sometimes it's too much.
That pesky pause button just runs away from you.
Yeah, but I want to get up without pushing pause, and that's why I don't go to the movies a lot, because I can't the movies are all 3 hours long now, and I just can't. I need to watch it with commercial breaks at home so I can get up and do something and get a snack or take a shit or whatever.
I think this is just saying you have a very short attention span because you have to have commercials because you don't have the self-control to push the pause button.
Maybe I feel it's more. I don't think it's a short attention span. I just feel if I get burned out if I just watch 3 hours straight of it. Like I can't. My maybe it's not a short attention span. It's a weak attention span. It's tired if I have to watch it for 3 hours straight.
I think you're just not a binger. You're not a true binger.
But I do that. But with TV shows, I don't know. Maybe it's because the TV show will end after 30 minutes and then whatever. But and then it'll say, "Are you still watching this?"
Yes, Netflix, stop judging me.
But yeah, movies. I just have to do it that way. I don't know. Sorry.
I mean, I don't care. Are you offended about my opinion on your binge watching habits?
No, I don't think. I mean, I would admit if I had a short attention span. I have many faults, but I don't think it's quite that. I think it's something else.
I don't know how TV and things are going to make it with this new generation coming up because they have the short attention span. Everything is in 2-minute clippets, Snapchat videos.
Snippets?
Like snippets. That's a
Clippets?
word. Don't judge my words.
Well, it used to be, I mean, you remember Vines were 8 seconds.
Yeah, 6 seconds for a Vine.
Or 6, it was 6?
It was 6.
Wow.
Vines were great. You watch 10 of those things and it's only been like
But I hate how people could get famous on that.
Yeah.
I just hate everything.
You do. But some of them were great. Some of them were really funny. And I've heard Vine is coming back, and I'm incredibly excited about it because some of those things, they managed to put so much story into just 6 seconds or so much funny into just 6 seconds. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a real testimony to how funny they could really be.
You know, speaking of sexual harassment, Bill Cosby got convicted on
all that 30 years.
Well, that's the most he could get.
I heard it. I thought that was what they gave him.
No, maybe they did, but when I read it, it was the 3 counts and the highest he could get is 10 years each. Ew. I mean, he's 80, so I mean, you know, who knows? They may just do it anyway. But I'm sad. I'm partly sad. I'm disappointed, I guess. I mean, not that just in the whole situation. Of course, ever since it started happening, I've been disappointed. But it's like I tried to. Well, can you separate the man from the art? You know what I mean? Can you enjoy, not you, the collective you, but you can answer. Can you watch the Cosby Show? Can you? Because like I used to love his he did stand up. Like he was really good at because it was very storytelling, and you just sit there in a chair or whatever, and it was just, he would talk to you. But it's like, man, it's all fake. It's all lie. I mean, maybe all those things happen, but this other guy that's
I don't know,
drugging women, and
I think it is possible, and some people won't let it be possible.
Yeah,
because he did this. Yeah, he did it, and he's a horrible person for doing that. But his comedy was funny, and I feel like I could still laugh at it. I could still listen to it and appreciate it for what it is, and especially the old stuff. Like I know what you're talking about, the old vinyls that I know I used to listen to. It'd be raining outside, and we would put on a Bill Cosby vinyl and just listen to all of his stand-up. I feel like I could still do that because of the nostalgia of it. I could still watch the Cosby Show because it's still funny. But yeah, you point at him and you're like, he's not a good person. But he just, this is his work.
But you can enjoy the art form and everything because it's, that's not really him. That's a different character.
He's an actor.
I mean, we do it with musicians all the time. I mean, some musicians are like the worst people ever, and you'll, listen to their.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
drug addicts, and they,
they were
all sorts of horrible things.
They've been. I think it's funny, not funny, but the musicians are the ones that we've known stuff about for the longest time. If they beat women or they have sex with a bunch of women or whatever, but a lot of people can ignore that.
Yeah, that doesn't stop the.
I don't know. I don't.
Music from selling.
Maybe music because it's just audio. Like you can just listen to it, and then but with a performer maybe or a non-musician, you have to watch them. I don't know if that's part of it.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone who's had a scandal that's an actor that I just decided I would not like.
What about
anymore.
Kevin Spacey? His was kids, though.
Here's the thing with Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey's always made me uncomfortable because he's just so intense.
Yeah, and everything.
Even
in interview, even like on a talk show.
So I think he's a good actor, but he's also kind of typecasted. I've only remember seeing him in things where he's this really serious character. But
I just don't like that he tried to. He was a douche about. He was like, "Oh, and I'm gay."
Yeah,
like when he said, "Hey, yeah, I did this."
I'm just gonna throw this out there too.
Yeah,
might as well.
Like he thought, even like the gay and lesbian community are like, "Hey, wait a minute, whoa, no, you're not gonna
not taking that one."
It's like It's like he threw a grenade over there and said, oh, "Look at that," and tried to
distraction.
No, everyone knew he was not everyone, but I mean, he was gay. I mean, everyone knew that forever.
It feels like it. It's one of those. I can't think of anybody. Like him, I just didn't really like.
So you didn't like him anyway. So it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah,
had anything.
But I think he's a good actor. I still think if I saw something he was in American Beauty, that was the movie he was in, right?
Yeah.
I think I can still watch that and appreciate the movie, for as creepy as that movie is, but still watch it.
Well, it's perfect for him.
I know, right? It's a horrible reference.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, but I can still watch that and enjoy it for what it is, and not think, oh, that guy. He did
Yeah.
horrible things.
Yeah.
He's a horrible person.
I mean, what's another one? I can't even. It's like there's so
C.S.
many.
Lewis? No, that's the writer. Oh my god.
James and the Giant Peach.
No, he did Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh no. Okay. No, Ronald Dahl did the James and the Giant Peach. Sorry.
And I'm trying to
C.S.
think.
You mean Louis C.K.?
Louis C. He has letters. in
Yeah.
his
Well, I
name.
was trying to think of actors and stuff
The
because
comedian.
it seems like a lot of comedians that have done.
There's he's not an actor, but he, what the hell is his name? He's the guy who like hires all the actors.
Oh, Weinstein.
Harvey
Well,
Weinstein.
yeah, the movie producer. I mean, see, that's different because he's not actually in anything.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of people, and I can't think of anyone that I've just been like.
And there's
no,
so many-
I'm not going to watch you.
That
You know who?
let's look
she's
it up.
just kind of annoying.
Okay.
What is her name? She's like a D-list
Oh, it's a
celebrity.
girl? Kathy Griffin.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, but she didn't sexually harass anybody.
No, but she's just kind of a terrible person.
Well,
I don't really
she did
care for her.
that cut off Trump's head thing.
See, and that's one of those things where we talk about extremes,
Yeah.
and that's an extreme I wouldn't go to.
Right.
I wouldn't go to that extreme and do that because, hey, this guy has a kid and stuff who is going to see that one day, and regardless of what I think of him, to that kid, that's still his dad. And I think that's
Right, yeah.
uncalled for.
And it's not really his fault. Well, it's not his fault at all that his dad's that way. Let's see here. Who do we got? Good Lord, 122. Let me try to find somebody. David Copperfield got accused? Wow.
The magic hands.
Yeah, right?
Gonna make your clothes disappear.
I guess Michael Douglas did. I'm trying to find like a good one. A good one. Oh, no. Go away, ad. Let's see. Let me go to number one here.
Is this like a top 20 that you're looking
It's
at?
just a.
Top 20 pedophiles from
It's not from
Hollywood.
Time. I don't know who John Besh is.
Yeah.
David Blaine, man, there's another.
It's the magicians.
There's another magician, yeah.
The dark side of magicians.
Oliver Stone got by Patricia Arquette. Ben Affleck. Ben
Man.
Affleck was always just a douchey guy anyway. He's one of
Do you
those.
remember when that came out about Ben Affleck? Because he initially started to raise support for, I think it was the Me Too movement.
No, it wasn't him. It was Franco.
Was it James? I thought it was David Affleck who was like
David Affleck?
Not David Affleck. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Well, no, Ben
I'm
Affleck.
so bad at names.
No, he had the thing at the award show, and you're like, wait, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because
And he was like, "Whoop, never mind. I'm
James-
just gonna walk away."
yeah. Stephen Collins. He was the Seventh Heaven dad.
I never watched Seventh Heaven.
Oh, okay.
I heard it was
Hamilton
good.
Fish. There's Kevin Spacey. Andy Dick. Well, Andy Dick probably sexually harassed everybody.
Andy Dick just is
Is a
so
dick.
uncomfortable.
Well,
I feel like I wouldn't want to be in a room with him.
what's his face got thrown off of Hyde from that 70s show? Got
Oh,
thrown
yeah,
off of
him.
that Netflix show or
Yeah,
whatever?
he was on some show I didn't watch.
Jeffrey Tambor. I like him.
Do you still like him now that you know he's horrible?
Following allegations of sex. Yeah, it doesn't, but it doesn't go into much detail. So, Steven Seagal, of course. He's just a awful. He just sucks. Ray Moore.
It just looks like he has to poop all the time.
Yeah. And his hairline is so awesome. It's so natural. It's like the John Travolta's sprayed on hair.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and then Richard Dreyfuss. I was really upset about not just because he's a Democrat, but I was really upset about the Minnesota governor, senator.
Yeah, I'm not going to be any help to you here.
He was on Saturday Night Live, and
You have Google right here. I feel like
what
this is the
I like
perfect
to
time
try
use it.
I like to try to figure it out before I resort. Before I
Resort.
Al Franken.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Al
But
Franken is?
I know he's a
He's got the little
senator
glasses.
from.
Yeah, because he had that
Something else.
picture where he was in front of the lady and she was asleep and he was miming.
Oh,
But it was before he was a senator, so he was like a funny. He was coming back from like a USO trip
I feel
or
like
something. Can we use some context? I mean, he's like.
I don't know. It's
And then plus they said they didn't know she was kind of, not that it's a victim, I'm not blaming the victim, but she was kind of maybe wasn't honest that much. And Franklin's like, hey, he said, wouldn't it be a funny picture? She wasn't really asleep, but she said she was asleep. And he's so like, on the right side. Not that somebody could say all the right things and still be an evil person, but I really think that was Ron Jeremy. What the hell?
You can take these things. They're just a snapshot in time that no one else has any sort of explanation for except for the people that were involved.
And that's what we do with everything. You take something out of context and just spread it around.
I can make anything that you say sound bad if I use only this sentence and nothing else.
Right.
So
you could go back and take out all the stuff about Jews that I said. John Lasseter, the Pixar director? Come on. Sorry.
I feel like you should just stop scrolling.
I know. It's just ruining my life.
Get more
what about Matt Lauer? That was one he was an evil dude.
That was surprising. That really kind of, I'll be honest, that one did kind of shake me. I mean, not that you would watch reruns of the Today Show.
Well, no,
right?
I mean, my mom, that was my mom. The Today Show was her morning show.
Yeah.
And that's what she would watch like before when we went to school in the mornings. And he always seemed like such a cool, like they were having fun. They're all friends.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice guy. And I remember during other things, especially when his female co-host, because if I'm thinking of the right show, one of them ended up having like breast cancer and another one was having like a kid or something over the years. This is not recent. But and he was really supportive, and he seemed like a really nice guy. And then you find out that this is happening,
and he had like a button that shut the door in his office.
Yeah, locked his door. How creeper is that?
It's like a evil villain. Oh, not so fast.
The floor's going to open up into a Shark Tank,
and they
he's
have
going
lasers.
to monologue.
They have lasers on their heads.
That's right.
Or whatever. Yeah, we haven't had a girl on the show since, like, me and Norm, like us guys try to talk about it, and we always say every time, like, we don't know. We're not in that situation, but we're just like trying to talk about it.
Yeah.
And because we were, I think the last time we talked, or when me and Norm talked about it, we're trying to figure out about Aziz Ansari. We're like, how much should he be crucified?
And see, it's one of those things. Like I just said, it's one of those things. It is the only people who know the true story are the two people involved in it, and my perspective is my truth, and that's. Just a shitty thing.
And they could both be true to them.
And like
Aziz could be like, oh, it was just a bad date. And that's really what, and the girl could be like, no, I was afraid for my safety. And that's really what
I read both things. I read her story and then I read his story. And to me, and every girl's different. And if anyone is,
you speak for all women.
I know I do. But like in a serious snippet, because I've experienced some stuff before. Sometimes I've been in that situation where you don't know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You may be afraid that they're going to turn violent. Maybe they had too much to drink. Maybe you just don't know them. Maybe it's an online date. Maybe it's anything.
Tinder thing, yeah.
Yeah, and you just don't know, so you get nervous. But especially being more of an adult, I'm like, no. And you say it loud, you say it often, you say it as soon as you feel uncomfortable, and then you take yourself out of the situation.
Right.
And that's where I think it went from being his fault to being her fault. Because if I felt uncomfortable one time, I'm going to leave.
Well, and then women have said she felt she couldn't. Well, she was unable to leave.
And I don't see how that's possible in this day and age. Because, first of all, he's a celebrity. What is he going to do? Murder you? Like, what is he going to do?
Well, you've got a lot of leverage with him being a celebrity, right?
Like,
if he tries anything, you got your phone.
You have, and plus they have things like Uber. So I didn't have a ride. You can Uber it. Yeah. Or if all else fails, you just walk out. I feel like at that point, when you don't voice, when you don't voice it and say, no, I'm uncomfortable, which she said that she had nonverbal cues that he wasn't reading. It's not his responsibility to pick up your nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
Like, you need to say, this does not make me comfortable. You need to stop. I don't want to progress anymore. I think I've had enough for tonight. Yeah. Whatever you got to say to get out of the situation.
I've had to do it, and I'm not saying, because I'm just telling you what happened to me, and I think I've talked about it before. I always say that because I don't have a lot of stories, so I repeat a lot of them.
Yeah.
So people that actually listen to the show, I'm sorry if you've heard this before, but I have very limited amount of experience in life. I'm sorry. But, I'm not trying to be one of those guys that say, oh, it happens to guys too, to be a dick about it.
No, but it does.
Well, yeah, like
chicks get crazy.
There's been a few times where like either sometimes, if you've been drinking, you don't either feel good enough, like your stomach may be hurting because you drank too much, you don't want to like fuck, or you don't want to take advantage, or you're like, man, this isn't a good idea, maybe we shouldn't have sex yet or whatever. And I've done it. I mean, I've never been like, I'm not trying to say that I've ever feared as much as some women have, like for their lives or whatever. But I mean, there's been girls that's like get mad and call me like a fag or like, you know, like, what's wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm trying to do the right thing here. And then I get, you know.
And it's especially tough, I imagine, as a guy, because you don't know. Because if I was to say, and I'm not, this sounds so terrible, but if I was to somehow make an allegation against you, it's only me and you here. Like,
Yeah.
And who are they going to believe?
Well, yeah.
Who are they going to believe?
The girl. Yeah. No, I mean, that's true. Like you could, I mean, it happens, but a girl could say, you could have consensual sex and say, nah, he raped me.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, and even if they 100% clear you, the allegation's there. Mm-hmm. The stigma that you were accused, even if you were not,
it will not go away.
No. So it's like girls can ruin a guy's life. And I'm not saying that's what happened with all these actors and stuff. I'm sure they abused their power. Me and Norm talked about, this is really us, a comedian was talking about this, but we were expanding on it. But it sucks. Not that this is giving them an out or anything. It's just something to consider. But we're all human. If you all of a sudden have unlimited power, that can fuck you up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no, I think it was Bill Burr. Bill Burr is one of my favorite comedians. He was like, there's no school for dealing with all this fame and power and then, like, all these women coming at you.
Yeah.
Like, if for a long time girls were just throwing themselves at you and you didn't have to try, why wouldn't you always think that that's just how it is? Somebody was saying that Harvey Weinstein, just going through the psychology of it, he is so, like, screwed up. And not that he's not responsible for his actions, he is. But he's so fucked up that he just thinks the whole world feels how he feels at any given time.
Yeah.
Like, if he's horny, then if a woman, she's got to be horny too.
Yeah.
Because that's just how he's so narcissistic and so fucked up that's just how he feels. Again, not to make excuses, but I think that's why he's messed up. Or part of the reason he's messed up.
Very valid that if you're not used to saying no or being told no to being told no like a child.
Yeah. It's like a spoiled kid.
Yeah, it's like a spoiled kid. If you tell them no, they're going to lash out. And that's
you see
what
that at
happens.
school.
Oh,
you see that at school all the time.
I'm with teenagers, so I hope I don't see it like that. But
no,
I
but
do.
but
I
still,
do.
yeah,
You do.
the ones
Anytime
that are spoiled.
You tell them no.
Anything about their phone.
Oh my sweet baby Jesus.
You know, I don't understand how like people are banging teachers are banging students because I can't stand them.
Teenagers are terrible. They really are.
And it's mainly at least. A win for the guys. At least it's women banging students now. So
my gosh.
That's kind of away from us disgusting men. But it's so often that it's girls. That's all these middle school ladies banging kids. And it's like, you know, I could understand. Like, I think about, because I'm a guy, I think about the husband, and I'm like, I would rather the girl realize she was a lesbian than say, yeah, I'm fucking this 13-year-old. I'm like, a kid? Like, really? Like, he's... But again, the psychology of it, because I'm a psych major and maybe I overanalyze things. My theory for maybe a lot of the women is maybe when they were in middle school or high school, they did not get attention so much that they wanted so badly that maybe something. And I'm mainly the ones that are like, you know, that right out of college and they're like 22 or 23 and they're still not that far off from being in high school.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they're like 17 or 18-year-old boys and something, all of a sudden they get more attention and their minds may revert back to being like a high school kid.
Yeah.
And they don't think, you know, not trying to, again, these are all just theories. No. I'm not trying to excuse anybody's behavior, but I mean, maybe that like their inhibitions go down like, oh, I'm getting the validation that I didn't get that I wanted so badly before.
I will also say that working in I've worked in an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school. And sometimes in the same year. And it's so hard because you see these high school students, and sometimes not that I would ever, no, God, no, that's gross. But
say it.
No, like I'm not going to sleep with a student. I'm not going to.
Well, yeah, I know.
Stupid. That's
no, I've talked about it lots of times. Yasko, who you know, who's been on this show, I'm like, we're like, it's really easy not to have sex with a student.
Yeah, you just don't.
You just don't do it.
But especially like on the street, and this is very much, you know, separate from the building itself. But if I saw some of these students just on the street, some of them I would not know if they are 16 or if they were 24.
Yeah.
They are huge.
Right.
That I've had many students ask me, would you ever stop a fight if one happened? Oh, no. everyone at the school is bigger than I am, and I'm not doing it.
Well, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's the thing always. You know, teenagers always want to look older than they really are. They want to be grown up, so they don't look, you know,
it's
their age.
difficult.
And some of the guys are huge. Like they hit their growth spurt and they're 6'4". In high school,
and they're 15.
Yeah,
and it's terrifying. But you would have thought there'd be more men with scandals like that, but surprisingly, no, there are more women with it. And I think you're onto something saying that it's like a psychological thing with getting this attention, especially if it's someone in that school who maybe has some sort of pull or leeway. Because if you weren't popular in high school, or you didn't have that in high school, or if you did and you want to relive the glory days,
or that too,
and it just kind of pulls on you, and you end up sleeping with a teenager like a crazy person.
Yeah. Who knows? It's just left and right. And, you know, the standard reaction is, oh, man, I wish I had, a teacher in high school like that. I'm like, well, do you? Well,
no.
Do you really want to be in that mess? Because then you're never going to be able to have a relationship for the rest of your life, probably.
Well, and then
you need a lot of therapy.
That adult is ruined because they made a bad decision.
Yeah.
And then this child is labeled.
And maybe ruined.
Maybe ruined too. And then God forbid that it's like a girl who gets, pregnant or something. And then they have that. So you lose your job. You lose your respectability. You lose your partner if you had one.
Yeah.
And then you get a little blue dot on your house. And
you're a sexual predator.
You're a sexual offender.
Sexual offender, yeah.
And that's what you are for the rest of your life. It's tragic.
Yeah. Sorry if you were in love. It doesn't matter. The age, it's the law.
Who is in love with? I could find no redeeming quality in a teenager that would make me feel that emotion of being in love. They're all so narcissistic and.
Well, I mean, like I said, if they're the ones that were missing validation in high school and they're a kid, I mean, like when teenagers do fall in love. Quotes. I mean, who knows? Some of them they fall hard sometimes. So if it's somebody that was starved from attention when they were in high school, and now it's a male student who is just thinks she hung the moon.
Yeah.
Then it's like, yes, that fills some kind of
void.
And maybe her, she could have a bad marriage. The husband doesn't care at all, and this male cares. Too much.
And they make you feel special. And they make you feel loved and young again and whatever. I don't know. Every teenager I've met is just kind of terrible.
One more thing about school. I hate to end on a we've hit an hour at 1:02. I hate to end on like a ominous note, but we're talking about politics and everything, but that thing that was written in the stall in Belmead.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Belmead is a shitty suburb of Waco. It's like the butthole of Central Texas. Would you agree?
Were
you from Belmead?
No,
okay,
I'm
sorry.
not from Belmead.
Belmead. But there was on a stall at an HEB, which is a grocery store. See, I do this for people that are listening all across the country in case they don't know what HEB is.
All across the country.
But somebody wrote Columbine 2.0 coming soon to a school near you. And there's a school district near Belmead that stepped up security. I feel like they should have done it all the local schools because of that. And then yesterday or the day before, China Spring, which is another suburb of Waco, wrote what was it? It
was a similar thread.
It just said school shooting May 23rd or something like that. Just a straight up. And I guess it was the 22nd because they said they had extra security on April 23rd just in case they got the month wrong. And they're trying to look at video and everything. But I'm like, holy shit, like either I really hope this is just some kids thinking this is a funny thing or a good idea or whatever. But I don't know. Like we work at schools. Like it used to before. I mean, of course I was worried about people, but I didn't work at a school. And now, we're like sitting ducks.
Yeah. I told my mother that the other day. She made a comment similar to that, having read the news stories about it. And I said, yeah, you kind of go into work every day just wondering if it's going to happen. Is it going to be today? Am I going to have to make some decisions today?
I feel lucky. I mean, not that it's, if it's going to, if somebody's really that deranged, they'll jam their way in. But we have like a little police station right beside, over there by the park.
Yeah.
There's that little building where there's like 4 cops in there all the time.
Yeah.
So it's nice. That's kind of a relief. I mean, not, but until they got there, shit could happen. But I like that they're there. Hopefully they don't punk out like that one. But he was a security guard, so maybe that's why he didn't run in.
That's a little bit above his pay grade.
Yeah. He had a gun though, right? He was a good guy with a gun.
Oh,
I'm not going to get into that.
Oh gosh, don't end on that.
I know. What do you support? Gun rights?
I mean, if you want to have a gun, have a gun. I just don't think. I just don't think anyone needs that many that shoot that many bullets at one time.
Yeah, but it's not. I love how this will. Norm will love this because he's again not against me, but he's just different. The big argument is when you call an AR-15 an assault rifle, and they come at not an assault rifle. It's AR stands for the manufacturer or whatever. AR whatever it is. But I'm like, but still, it's a fucking. It's not a pistol.
Regardless of the name, this gun.
I don't care what the
not be
classification of it is. They're like, that's the big thing. You're like, actually, you don't know anything. And they always say you don't know anything about guns. What do I need to know? To have an opinion on guns? Why do I have to know every single thing about them? If it was my hobby, like if I was an enthusiast.
Yeah. It's either all or nothing, because that's what it is. You either know everything about it and then you can be the loud voice, or you know not everything and then you need to shut up and sit down.
Well, I don't know really anything, but I'm not saying to take away all of them. I mean, most people aren't saying take away all of them.
No, I don't think anyone is saying take away every single gun that every single person has from everywhere.
Because I mean, that would just be a fight you wouldn't want to have to fight.
No one wants to do that.
Yeah.
It's just, I had a friend bring this up, and they made the argument that a citizen should be as well armed as. Shut up.
Sorry.
A citizen should be as well armed as police force or military force, and I was like, no, I don't think that anybody needs to have some.
Well, I mean, it's all the conspiracy theorists that think the government's always is plotting, and it's so weird when they think of conspiracies. And when they don't, it's just how everyone is. They always just pick and choose what they want, and that's just annoying.
But my thought is, if the government wants to kill you, the government's going to kill you. I'm sorry, I don't care how many guns you have.
They just, I'll play the other side. They're like, well, I still want to fight and chance. Okay. I mean, the government could drop a hydrogen bomb on you.
Or they could poison your drinking water. Or they could send in one of their
Men in Black
specialists to just freaking kill you. If they want you gone, you're going to be gone regardless how many guns you have. And then all you have are a bunch of guns and your dead body. So I'm just not big on. I mean, I know the government has secrets that they don't tell us, but I don't think the government's against us. I don't think it's a big. I don't know. I have some. It's not. I guess you could call them conspiracy theories that I kind of buy into. But even if it is, even if the government is completely against me, what am I going to do about it?
I'm happier if I don't worry about it all the time.
Yeah, I have to keep living and enjoying
my
life.
best life.
Yeah, YOLO. Because I don't know. There's nothing I could do against the government. What am I going to do? I'm nobody.
I just like to think that the government's generally good, and they generally look out. And I think they have good intentions, even though it's fucked up. Even though the government's all backwards and shitty. I'm not saying that it's not, but I really feel that I feel like most of them try to have our best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
Right.
I just see you looking really sleepy over here.
Yeah, we got to get out of here because I'm tired. So we'll wrap it up. Oh, we didn't talk about you perform. We can plug stuff if you have any.
I have nothing.
You did improv. You do stuff at the same place I do when I do those radio shows. Yeah. Around here.
Never mind. I won't comment on that because I don't know what ears are listening on that one.
We do. What?
Yeah, but I'm almost never there.
No, I'm saying it's the same house.
It's the same theater company. Yeah. But
that's all I was saying.
Yeah, but I'm like, no, I'm just never there. Like, it's only for that one thing.
Well, I only do the radio things. I only like doing that. There's if you're in the Waco area, that rooftop shit.
Oh, that's coming up this weekend.
We're doing one of the things me and another guy did at one of those Golden Age radio was the Who's on First. We're going to do that.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Pay
So
$20 and go see that.
That's really not anything special, but we'll get in free and get to mingle, I guess.
Schmooze.
Yeah. I wanted to learn it without using the script, but it's too late to start. There's no way to learn it by Saturday.
I'm not gonna put in that kind of dedication for it, huh?
Well, if we would have started earlier, I think it would have looked a lot smoother if we were just looked like it was conversational, but whatever. And then they do. They still do Rocky?
Yes.
Were you in Rocky?
I was in Rocky. I'm not in this current one, but on May 5th at Bankston's for the free comic book day, they are going to do Rocky that evening.
At the comic book store?
Yeah, we did it before in November.
But it's really small in there.
Well, it's going to be outside.
Oh.
It's going to be outside
Interesting.
where King's Landing and Bankston's are. There is a field that's right in between them because they're
where they find dead bodies?
Not anymore.
All right.
It's a classy joint now.
Ah.
And
people still get murdered, though.
Shut up.
All
You
right.
told me to plug, and I'm trying to plug.
Okay.
They're doing an outside performance on May 5th, free comic book day there.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it's my birthday, too. I'm so
And
excited.
you're of course, aren't all Mexicans born on Cinco de Mayo?
You know, hopefully not, because there would not be enough tacos to support us all.
Tacos. Well, cool. That's fun. So, did you like this, or what do you think?
It was cool.
Do you want to keep doing it?
I would like to hopefully not focus so much on politics next time.
Okay.
But because that was super serial, and I'm like, I'm not real informed about politics. So I'm just like, this is
me neither. But you don't have to be. It's fine. I mean,
just give your shitty opinion.
You come.
We don't care.
Just bring stuff. Like it's the Norm. Norm, I know you're listening. Never brings anything. He just always. I'm like, hey, you got stuff? He's like, yeah. And then he comes like, I don't have anything.
You're a trooper, Norm.
So, like, if you want to write something or have do whatever. So I don't have to talk all the time.
I'm gonna see. I feel like you took that burden on yourself for a good bit of this because it's like, Jamie, introduce yourself. Okay, well, I do. It doesn't matter what you do. I'm gonna talk over you anyway. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Sorry, I do like to talk. That's why I have a show.
I guess so.
But I was worried. You seemed nervous before, so I was like, well, I wanted to make sure I had stuff to talk about.
I wondered how you were a teacher because I asked you all these questions, like probing questions, and got nothing. I was like,
well, I didn't want to let you know. I wanted you to just come and do it.
It could have been anything. You could have said anything to me, and it would have been better than the nothing that I got.
All right, calm down. You're getting all whatever.
Yeah.
You're getting all.
Say a word. Say a word as we go off, and then you're here alone with me.
You're getting all womanly or whatever. No. No, you're getting all like anxiety like I have, so I understand.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
The kids make me. I have anxiety attacks every day. Not really.
Oh God. So you should get on medication for that.
I am on medication.
Oh.
It's called
Okay.
Jack Daniels. I self-medicate. No, not really. It's just I did have one more thing before we go. We had a National Honor Society inductions last night, and the administrator in charge does not know anything about organization, and I have to have structure. Like I have to know if I'm doing. It's the first time I helped out. If I'm doing anything for the first time, I have to know about it, and then I have to play it over in my head. Okay, I'm going to do this and this and this. Nothing. She's like, okay, line them up.
Yeah, that
Put
was
them in
me
lines.
walking
I'm like,
in here.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I was going to help you through it though.
But you didn't say this. You were
well,
like,
I know, but I still wanted some kind of honest reaction too, so that's why I
Yeah.
didn't say it. But this isn't a performance in front of a lot of people. So
but I don't know who's going to hear this. This is someone's first judgment of me. They're going to be like, either she's
They don't
a
know
bitch,
your last name.
she's a horrible person. Oh, I'm not hard to find. I'm pretty sure if anyone went to your Facebook page and just looked at my
nobody
first
in
name,
town listens to this. Our listeners are mainly in West Virginia.
Oh, hi, West Virginia people. I'm a horrible person.
Where the Klansmen are, or whatever.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Okay. So thanks, Jamie. We'll catch you guys next time on the Weekly Ag. See ya.
That was awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Weekly Yak.
No, sir, I didn't like it.
Check us out at weeklyyak.com. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Lighthouses rule.
And subscribe to us on iTunes.
Keep looking up, because that's where it all is.